Hello, folks. We're live for Fandango Friday. I'm not feeling too good. But we're gonna do the Fandango. So here's James P. Madani in New Jersey. I'm in Louisiana, and so there we go.
And we're off. It is Memorial Day weekend, folks. 2022. This is the kickoff of Memorial Day weekend, and we have heavy fog, bad visibility, and we just had a thunderstorm. And it's hot and humid, and the AC is blowing.
Yeah, it's clear outside here. It's very clear. All right, so I have my party bucket, and after this week, I need a drink. All right, or 10.
Did you get a new webcam, Ronald?
No, why? It looks better.
No, you're clear with no pixelation or blurriness whatsoever.
But this webcam broke, and then I unplugged it, and I bought a new webcam, but it didn't work right, so I brought it back to Walmart.
And then Walmart?
And then this one started working again. So
every electrical appliance in every department, if you have to plug it in, I always had to take it back to Walmart. You should have went to Best Buy.
I could never get the volume to work right.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't deal with this, so I brought it back. They gave me my money back, but it was
working. I mean, what you have now is working. I mean, knock on wood.
It wasn't working. Oh well, Canadian whiskey. Okay, so I got to change my title. It's not liqueurs tonight. It's liquor. Okay, no problem. So let me put this stuff back.
Oh, wait a minute. Was that an airline bottle or a full-size bottle? It looked huge. Oh, an airline bottle.
Well, because I was doing like that. All right, so let me change my title. Hold on, let's see. Edit name. Louisiana liquor.
Do you have a scrolling marquee also? I forgot. Did you ever have a scrolling marquee?
No.
Oh, you're
all right. Yeah. So here's what I've got. So tonight I have Ellington imported. Obviously, it's imported. Ellington Canadian whiskey, blended Canadian whiskey, which I've never had in my life, blended and distilled and blended under the supervision of the Canadian government. 40% alcohol, 80 proof. It's aged probably about 3 years. Imported and bottled by the Ellington Whiskey Company, Princeton, Minnesota, but it's really not. That's a fake name. It's a company called United Distilling of Princeton, Maryland, and it's produced for them. These companies use all these alias names. And I'll tell you one more quick story. I went to Total Wine and More. I asked the lady. I said, "Do you have the regular Ellington whiskey, not the 8-year age?" "No, that's all we've got."
Terse. Oh, that woman.
Terse. I said, "Okay." So I had to go to the bathroom, and I went to the bathroom. I came back to the shelf where she was, and I started moving all the bottles around, and I realized that somebody had put all the 8-year-old bottles in front of the regular Canadian whiskey. And I told her, I said, ma'am, hey, guess what? I said, the regular one, it was behind all the others. They were all pushed together. Oh, I'm glad you told me that. I never realized it. And I thought
You never realized it because she never fixes the shelves with the airline bottles. She never rearranges it properly. And
well, she was stocking them. But she wasn't checking to see if things were in the proper location. So I said, boy, oh boy, oh boy.
And then she sounded, she had like an attitude with you. That's all we have.
So I thought to myself, that was kind of sharp.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So I had to let her know that she was wrong because, you're not going to blow me off in a store without a response.
Oh no! Hey, Maxwell from Russia, from Mother Russia. How are you, sir? Michael Hill, almost like Heaven Hill. Okay.
No, I'm not a tough customer. Actually, I'm an easy customer. But I just don't like people to neglect their duties at work.
Well, the woman jumped down his throat, and he asked a legitimate question, and it turned out that Ronald was correct, and the woman was wrong. Okay, what I brought is something I never had something I never had before on the show, but I've been guzzling it because it's not an airline bottle. Blackwell Fine Jamaican Rum, and there you got an old time map of Jamaica, and I got the website link up there. Let me see what we got here. 40% alcohol by volume. This black gold special reserve. Blackwell's Black Gold special reserves. All right. And they have some man in the back. He doesn't look like a native Jamaican. Maybe he's British. Chris Blackwell. All right.
Okay. What's the alcohol volume?
40.
Okay.
Oh, how did he know? Oh, he doesn't. Oh, okay. I wonder how accurate this drawing is. It says here, Chris Blackwell. I'm probably right that he was British because one of Jamaica's oldest merchant families, settling in Jamaica in 1625. They were renowned for exporting bananas, coconuts, and rum. Okay, and actually the story on the bottle is just as fascinating as the actually it's better than the one on the website, because the one on the website is probably 2/3 dramatic violin playing.
Yeah.
Or more than 2/3.
Where did you buy that?
I got this at the local liquor store in the shopping center here, Wine and Spirits. It's the only one in my immediate area, but there are others the next town over. But if I'm there to shop in the market, I might as well kill 2 fish with 1 oyster and hit all the stores. There's a Target there, so on and so forth. Anyway, it's tasting notes: soft and sweet entrance with vanilla and caramel color, followed by a toasted marshmallow and a natural spice finish. I don't know where they get some of these flavor detections from. Color: luminous with a deep amber and bronze. The smoother, darker black gold element brings something fresh and exciting, neat and warm, or in your favorite cocktail. Blackwell rum will change the whole way you think of rum. I would say it's 95% violin playing, and you know what? I'm looking at the whole page here on this particular rum, and I rather read the bottle.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at that page too. It wasn't saying a whole lot. Yeah.
No, I rather. Oh, two birds with one stone. Well, I'm a nautical guy, and I like seafood, so I say, I'll say two fish with one oyster, as Ed Norton used to say. Where'd you go to school, Dr. Norton? PS 33, Oyster Bay. Okay.
That's how they say it. That's how they say it in the Ninth Ward in New Orleans. They say, "I want some fried oysters."
From fried oysters. Where exactly do you practice medicine, Dr. Norton? Oh, I don't practice it. I know it. I would just remember the episode. Okay.
In New Orleans, they don't have mayonnaise. They use mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. Well, that's the French influence, right? Mayonnaise.
I don't know what it is. They'll say, "I want some mayonnaise."
I want some. And you said something about ground beef, chopped meat instead of ground.
Oh, that's around around these parishes. They say grind meat.
Grind meat.
Grind meat.
I want to get some grind meat so I can make a hamburger. Okay. All right. Where I left off: bananas, coconuts, and rum. Expert Chris continued in the family tradition with the introduction of Blackwell fine Jamaican rum, taken from time-honored and secret recipes. Yeah, they're all secret recipes. Blackwell's deep, rich, fragrant black gold liquid is aged, making it one of the finest gifts Jamaica and Chris have to offer. By the way, Chris founded the famed Island Records label in 1959, which brought reggae music to the world. You got a little history lesson about this dude. Crafting Blackwell's fine Jamaican rum with the same passion. Yeah, they're all passionate. He has for reggae. Chris has imbued this black gold liquid with a very warm and sensuality. Oh my goodness. For which Jamaica and its music are so well appreciated. Yada yada yada.
I'm gonna show the website in a few minutes.
They're really funny.
The funny guy. What do you mean? The way I tell a joke?
He loves mushrooms. He's a fun guy.
What do you mean? I'm a clown. I'm here to entertain you. How am I funny? Am I a clown?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I'm tell a joke. I mean, you're funny.
What do you mean if I'm ha ha funny? Or what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm here to entertain you.
What am I here to entertain you? So anyway, that's the color of this lovely baby food. All right.
Yeah.
I used to hate those people with the signs in their window where it says "baby on board." What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to change my life and my lifestyle completely because you got kids in the car? Just drive responsibly. Get out of my way. So I'm going to open this,
folks. All right. So
that was good.
I'm going to do my video first, and then I'm going to show the website. So I've never had this in my life. I don't know much about it. I'm going to crack it open. I don't know how long it's been on the market. I don't think it's been decades, maybe a couple of decades. All right. So Ellington Reserve. Ellington Canadian whiskey. The Reserve is 8 years old. This is just the 3-year-old. All right. So imported to Princeton, Minnesota. I used to know a guy from Minnesota. I said, "It's really cold up there, isn't it?" He said, "Yeah, but it keeps the riffraff out." So,
that's pretty good. Riffraff don't like to get frostbite and hypothermia.
Right. So let's look at the screen share here. It's not going to be a lot to show. There's no website for this whiskey. So here it is on Total Wine and More. I bought this at Total Wine and More. There's the website showing the bottle. You know, typical kind of plain looking bottle. It says it's $10.99 a bottle, which is not a bad price for a full size bottle. I think before the inflation, it was probably $9.99. Distilled and blended under the supervision of the Canadian government. Yeah, well, all Canadian whiskey is, so I don't even know why they're mentioning that. Ellington Canadian whiskey brings a taste of Canada right to your doorstep.
Wow. So Justin Trudeau personally calls that distillery, says, look, I'm the Canadian government. This is what I want you to do.
Right. That's right. A variety of whiskey is blended, which would make sense since it's blended. How you like this? A variety of whiskey is blended. If it wasn't a variety, then it wouldn't be what?
Blended.
To create to create a light and smooth whiskey on the palate. Great to mix with cola or ginger ale. And it says
if you had one, go ahead. That just really, that was funny. Go ahead.
Yeah. Delicate vanilla, caramel, and balance. Okay. Very nice. All right. I'm not prejudging it. It's just funny to read it because
I mean, if
obviously
if you have one whiskey, then naturally you don't have to blend it.
Right, wouldn't be blended. So they're saying, well, it's a bunch of whiskeys that are blended. Well, yeah, that would be the whole concept of blended whiskey. All right. And then they're telling you it's distilled under the supervision of the Canadian government. Yeah, well, so is every other liquor product in Canada. So they're telling you things that are like you should know already just by common sense.
Or they could say you have to buy the kit. You have to buy each individual Canadian whiskey and blend it yourself and put it in a shaker. And,
Right. So it's gold. I guess we could say it's gold. Now, who knows? I'm ripping it up, but I might like it. I probably will like it. All right, let's go. Never had it before. Cheers.
Cheers.
It smells like oak barrels, which to me is a good start.
Yep.
Oak barrels, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of grain, like cereal grains. Yeah, good start. All right. Cheers to the taste. All right. Grain alcohol, a little bit of vanilla, probably from the wood, the oak. It's medium bodied. The finish is kind of quick. Let's call it quick to moderate, like low moderate. Yeah, it's sort of basic. I mean, doesn't have a bad flavor. It's not an offensive flavor. It's not an off-putting flavor. It's just not a whole lot of flavor. But to be fair, Total Wine is saying that it is made for putting on the rocks or making cocktails. It's not made for really, ooh, I'm sipping it. Mm.
Yeah, well, that you wanna save it for the extra long aged whiskeys.
Yeah, now there is an Ellington that I bought, and I have another bottle of it. Don't know when I'll pull it out the party bucket, but it's called Ellington Reserve, and it's aged 8 years. So you would expect the 8-year age would have a lot more going for it than the basic model. So, I'm not being judgmental. I bought a basic model, so I'm getting basic characteristics. And I don't think I can say too much bad about that because that's what I knew I was buying when I bought it. But I did want to, I find it ironic that I bought this whiskey just last week, and it's the first one I pulled out the party bucket, even though I shook the party bucket. So that's kind of weird. All right. Cheers. It's fine. But would I buy a full size bottle? Uh, yes, I do believe I would. I can get better values at Total Wine. I can buy a whole jug bottle, 1,750 milliliters for $13.99. So I don't think I would pay $10.99 if I could turn around and get another one for $3 more and get an extra 1,000 milliliters. Although that stuff may be trash, although I doubt it. But I would buy it theoretically. Yes, I would buy it. All right. So the score is going to be favorable, but I won't be out there I won't be playing jumping jacks with it. But Canada. Oh, let's see. Let's see how I'm going to say this. We're going to Jamaica next. So Canada years ago, and I mean many years ago, was elevated to what they call Dominion status, where it had self-government, but yet the Queen, or her father, it was her father, the King was still the King. And in Jamaica, it was 1962 that the British government passed a law elevating Jamaica from a colony to what they call a dominion or a realm. So now Jamaica's legislature makes its own laws, but the chief executive is still Queen Elizabeth. And I was reading this, their Supreme Court, there is no Jamaican Supreme Court. It's like a district court, as you would have in New Jersey, I guess. You can appeal if you get a judgment, like in Jamaica, you can appeal it to the Queen's Privy Council in London, where they make these British judges make the final determination. So actually, only their legislature is independent. The Queen is still the chief executive, and the judiciary is under the Queen's Privy Council court system. So I found that very interesting.
It is very interesting. And does that apply to today, right now?
Right now, May 27th, 2022, Jamaica.
So they have this little rinky-dink kangaroo court over there.
No, I'm not. I wouldn't say it's a district. It's a court. It's a court like you would say the court of New Jersey.
Like like we have the county courthouse in the capital of my county, which is Hackensack, New Jersey.
Right.
It's a big building shaped like the Capitol building, and it's the county courthouse.
But if you make an appeal, it goes to London to the Privy Council, the Queen's Privy Council. New Zealand changed that law, and now in New Zealand you can no longer appeal to the Queen's Privy Council. There is now a Supreme Court in New Zealand. But anyway, I just thought I'd mention that because it's kind of interesting,
Auckland, New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
Auckland.
Yeah.
And then they have the famous the Maori South Pacific Islander people, the native people, the Maoris.
Yeah, the Maoris. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Rubber Band Man. Oh, that was a song, right? Disco song. The Spinners. I think the Spinners. Oh, okay. Well, it is for a dark rum. As it's not what I would say blackstrap dark like the other brands, but it's reasonably dark, medium brown. Feel the beat, drink the rhythm. Oh, that's him. Oh, okay. He's not from 1600. No, they were saying the family. Okay.
The family.
The family.
I used to know a white family in Baton Rouge, and they had immigrated from Jamaica, and they spoke like they were from England. They were like, "Oh yes, we used to live in Jamaica," and the sister's name was Besh, B-E-C-H, Besh.
Oh, what a funny name.
Thought it was a strange name, Besh. All right, there's Blackwell.
Yeah, that's stranger than naming your daughter Polly Esther, which I think is a good name.
Right. Her name was Besh.
Besh.
They were from Jamaica, but they looked as English as you could ever imagine English people, and they just like they could have come off the boat from London, you know.
Hey, it's possible for a Caucasian person born of English parents to be from any of the colonies. It could be India, any of the colonies owned by the British Empire. They don't necessarily have to be born in merry old England. But anyway, I'm gonna
Right,
smell it.
and those two kids had never actually been to England.
Yeah, I watched a movie concerning the Revolutionary War in the what at that time Manhattan was loaded with trees, and it was very rural, and it took place around here. And the redcoat officer, the British officer, was born and raised in the colony of India, and he says, I never set foot in England. And but he had the British accent, and he was a white folk.
Yeah,
Okay.
those two children had a pretty thick accent. Okay, anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Okay, that's all right. That's fine. No problem. Erstes. Erstes Rockefeller.
I wish everybody that joined Hangouts would learn not to interrupt. But
Well, these people, it's slow today because I think a lot of people go away for Memorial Day weekend. I mean, myself, I despise traffic like you do. When the time you came up here,
yeah.
I really loathe it. And if you go away for during any of the major holidays, government holidays, the Garden State Parkway, well, all the major highways have to deal with parking lots, bumper to bumper. So
No, but what I was saying was,
yeah.
saying I wish everybody who joined Hangouts would learn not to interrupt.
Well, I was told, I think it was was it Jason? Jason Cleveland's in Las Vegas now at the MGM Grand with his wife and kid. So he says he's going to come on the show Sunday, and he's gonna come live. He's going to be on the show live in front of one of the progressive slot machines, and he's going to prop the phone up on the slot machine with all the bing 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 bells and whistles, and he's going to be drinking because you don't pay for the drinks, and it should be fun. It should be. But anyway, he sent me this. It was Miscellaneous's show on Thursdays, and there's a guy that calls himself Drunken One. I used to call him Drunkione. I thought he was an Italian lush, Drunkione. It means drunken one. Drunkenone, drunken one. And he was interrupting everybody with this, slurring. It's a mess. The highways are a mess. He was with that slurring voice that you can't understand, and he had a little raspiness to it, and he kept cutting everybody off. And I says, you know what? This guy's giving me a headache. Adios. So I got off the show. All right. Anyway, I get the aroma of caramel, of course, from the sugar cane, and vanilla notes. It is very smooth. You don't get, like they mentioned on the website, you don't get the strong or overwhelming woodsy note from the barrel. It is really a super smooth, drinkable rum. And it has in other words, they allow you to taste the array of flavors that are mentioned in this product without getting overwhelmed with the wood.
Yeah.
Kind of like like a little cinnamon flavor along with the vanilla.
I have a question when you're finished.
Oh, go ahead. But it's incredibly smooth. It's like when I drank Patty's Irish whiskey for the first time, and I said, "Ron, this is really good. This is smooth."
Yeah,
Anyway, go ahead.
I have some of that. Now this family, this Blackwell family that's been in Jamaica since the 1600s, and this guy who started Island Records, and he looks like he's as old as Jamaica. He but I'm not criticizing because I would like to live that long.
Well, he's very crusty looking, like he looks like Popeye's father almost, like from the movie. I think Ray Walton.
He may have had a few bottles. He may have had a few glasses of rum in his life, but few thousand glasses.
Well, listen, if you're lying on a hammock between two palm trees with powdery white sand and turquoise water, and fresh seafood, you'll be kicking back a lot of those island delights.
Yeah, there are a few English people that still live in Jamaica. But now, so my question is,
yeah,
when this guy, because their website doesn't tell you anything, when this guy decided to make his own rum brand, do you think he and his family got together and built their own distillery, or do you think they contracted with somebody like, say, I don't know, Myers is to make their rum?
Myers or Appleton.
Yeah.
Ah. And then they just slapped his label on it with his drawing.
I don't know that, but I'm thinking that's a pretty big investment to build your entire distillery and warehouse to age all the rum. It would be a lot cheaper just to pay Myers is to do it for you, or Appleton Estate.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, a lot of companies give you the impression that they make it themselves, and they just like you said, they contract it out, private. They slap their label on it. They make it to their specifications. I know vitamin companies do it all the time. They have some pharmaceutical company make their nutritional supplements for them, and they just slap their label on it.
But they make it seem, when you read the website, they make it seem like it's a man and his wife out in the country,
Yeah, that's the salesmanship, marketing of they
like it's Little House on the Prairie or something.
Yeah, they give you the impression that it's a family-owned company, but now it might be, but quite often it's not. I wouldn't be surprised if they approached Appleton or Myers and said, look, we want to come out with our own brand of rum, and since he popularized reggae music in the New World and expanded on it, so he was popular in the music industry with that genre. That's probably why he came out with Blackwell rum with his face on it, because he's somebody well known in the music industry.
Island Records, yeah.
Island Records. So yeah, I'm Krusty Barnacle Bill the Sailor. I'm of Island Records, and they go, oh, yes.
Just like Sailor Jerry rum. Sailor Jerry rum is not made by Sailor Jerry, but
we don't know how many times Sailor Jerry was at sea. I mean, you can. I mean, I could dress up like Mr. Peanut with the top hat and say, you got to try my peanut butter whiskey, and people think that I grew peanuts. So yeah, so if you have a name for yourself in another industry, like this man did with the music, and it's very possible he approached an established rum company. We don't even know if the rum company is in Jamaica. Who knows where it is?
well, The bottle would tell you that. The bottle will tell you that because if it's made in Jamaica, it has to say Jamaican rum, and if it says something,
Bottle. Yeah, I think it does say. A matter of fact, distilled, aged, and blended by J. Ray and Nephew
oh
Limited,
well, there's
Kings-
the answer. There's the answer.
Kingston, Jamaica. So you were correct.
Yeah, Ray and Nephew. Ray and Nephew is a huge Jamaican rum company. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, WRAY, Ray and Nephew Limited, Kingston, Jamaica. So it's true. This guy was well known for popular coming out with the record label for reggae music, Island Records, and he approached them, and there you go, Blackwell. But I will say, whatever Ray and Nephew are doing, they're doing it very well because this is a very pleasant rum to drink or to mix. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the estate rum from Cruzan. They have
Oh
one
yeah.
called, they had one called the state rum, which is a lot lighter than the black strap that they make. The black. Very mild and pleasant and smooth, and you don't have anything overpowering. Not even to a significant or a moderate level from the wood, from the barrel. You just barely notice it, but it still has quality flavor. I'm sure they use quality wooden barrels when they make some of the smooth Irish whiskeys, and well, Scotch whiskey is more, you get a lot more smokiness and wood than the Irish whiskeys. But I have a question. When I was a kid, they advertised Seagrams a lot. Is that a Canadian whiskey? Seagrams?
Yeah, well, Seagram started in Canada, but it was founded by an American named Seagrams, and when he went to Canada and started Seagram's whiskey company, and they got really big, but they got bought out in 1926 by, I think, the company was called the Bronfen Company, and it was a Jewish family from Lithuania who they admitted they had ties to organized crime. And the Bronfen family did a lot of bootlegging into the United States, and they owned a company called Seagram's until the year 2000 when the company collapsed under a debt load, and now Seagram's got sold off to a bunch of different companies. Yeah, but Seagram's was a real company. Yeah, they got bought out by various people 22 years ago. Very interesting company, very interesting history.
Well, the history behind a lot of the old liquor manufacturers is fascinating. I mean, I just wish they gave more history on their website and less hot air, less bilge water, if you know what I mean. The Rubber Band Man. Why, this guy likes that song, the Rubber Band Man, the Spinners.
Yeah.
So, this is an example. I just want to say to all the jabroni jumbalonis out there in cyberspace, this is an example of a little rinky-dink company. Never heard of Blackwell until I saw what attracted me was the old vintage map of Jamaica. I like all that 1600 stuff. It reminds me of like Sir Francis Drake and all those people. So anyway, Here's an example of a little known company that that puts out a fantastic product. Campari. Are they the ones that they make artichoke liquor from Italy? I know there's I know
Yeah, they bought out. So yeah, Campari of Italy bought Ray and Nephew of Jamaica.
son of a gun. Look at it. See how everybody's buying each other? They wave the right amount of cash in front of their nose and they buy them out.
Yeah,
So
here's Ray and Nephew. They make an overproof rum that's 150 proof. Boy, if you want to get smashed.
smashed. It's like the Bacardi 151.
Yeah,
It's like drinking a molten lava. I can't handle Bacardi. My late aunt Helen from Baltimore used to put a little too much Bacardi 151 in the Mai Tais down in Marathon Key, Florida. And I would have half a glass of frozen Mai Tai left. She goes, "Hey, hon, you want another Mai Tai?" I go, "No, it's only 12 noon."
Yeah.
Anyway, they were heavy.
Here's your answer. Here's your answer. Campari also owns Appleton Estate, that big plantation. So, well, there you go.
Oh, wow.
And they also own Grand Marnier.
So they're like the European Gold Ring, whatever the guy is, Old Man Gold Ring.
Yeah, Sazerac. They own Wild Turkey.
Look at that.
Wild Turkey. They own Campari, Aperitif, Aperol, Sky Vodka. They own.
And chances are they will own more. They will buy out more. Oh, there you go. Cynar, the art of Frangelico. They own that too. Wow. Cynar is the artichoke liquor. Frangelico is hazelnut liqueur.
They own a tequila company called Espolon.
Wow, look at this.
Biscuit cognac. Oh, somebody gave me a bottle of biscuit cognac, a 1954 bottle.
Oh, wow.
They also own La Muni rum, which I think is from Dominican Republic. They own the Glen Grant single malt whiskey, Glen Grant, which will cost you a lot of money.
Now, yeah. Look at that. Look at that.
Kingston 62 rum. Wow.
Kingston 62.
That
looks like a hobo rum from that all the bums in Jamaica drink. Kingston 62. Kingston 62. Yeah.
A celebration of independence. 62 gold. And like they say right here, only the best hobos drink it. Okay. Oh, well, look, it's made by Appleton Estate. Well, but Appleton Estate. Okay, hold on.
Well, I do like the sound of the steel drums. By the way, so I like reggae. I'm only making jokes about the guy because he looked like crusty old seaman. But it's amazing.
Right.
You think.
Anyway, here's
date of birth. Yeah, I got lost.
I'm just putting a fake birthday. They don't.
Oh, anybody can do that, really.
So this is a company they called Kingston 62 from Kingston with Swagger. It's a celebration of 1962 when Jamaica became, well, mostly independent, I guess you'd say. Number one. Okay, so 62 white rum. And it is made by Appleton Estate, but I've never seen this in the United States. This must be a Jamaica, like you said, Jamaica common brand, you know?
Yeah, like Jamaica's they have the Red Stripe beer, but I'm sure they have other beers. But you know, like with Dominican Republic, you think of Brugal. They obviously have the money to advertise Brugal rum.
Yeah, and we're judging this. We're judging this rum, but we have actually never had it. It might be really good, you know.
It might be really good. They got the boombox in the back, so there must be a lot of seedy characters drinking this. There's a boom, but they're walking around with a boombox.
I'll show you one more. I'll show you one more thing real fast on screen share. I'll come back to it. You can give your assessment of, and then I'll give my assessment.
Assessment. Okay, my assessment is that this is quality rum. So I'm gonna call it a dark rum. I wouldn't say it's a true dark rum, but it's not light either. I'm gonna give this a good score. I'll give it a 95% out of 100. It really is. It really is very smooth, pleasant rum to drink. And I hope when you see the Gerber jar, that meant it's been in the freezer for most likely a few to several days, and that's where it came from. It's really pleasant. I mean, it's not like something you would drink and shake your head and go, "Woo!" It's really a pleasant rum, and I imagine it will be very tasty in rum drinks, like the famous Jamaican cocktail, Planter's Punch from Montego Bay, Jamaica, or any rum drink, Pina Colada. What is it? The famous Cuban drink that looks like a lime margarita. Mojito. Mojito, right? Mojito. Yeah. It's another rum drink. Or a daiquiri, aka daiquiri.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really.
I'm gonna give it 95. So what? Let me ask you this question: what was the price per bottle?
Okay. Well, I never pay a lot for anything. I think it was around $12. I mean, we don't get like the discounts that you get, like $8.99 and all that.
Yeah,
We
right,
don't get that, you know, because
right.
they're a bunch of crooks up here, really. But and I wish we had Total Wine, and I wish we had big establishments with liquor departments running a lot of sales, like
Yeah,
Walmart. Yeah.
I noticed that Total Wine this week has a Scotch from obviously Scotland. It's called King Edward Scotch, and they got it for $9.99.
Imported blended Scotch whiskey from Scotland for $9.99.
$9.99. It's
Hey,
been
you see?
around.
That's what I call a great deal. That's what I call.
King Edward Scotch been around since the 1880s, and I said, "Oh man, $9.99."
As Morty Seinfeld used to say to his son, "As long as you got a great deal, as long as you got a deal." King of Dots, but DWIs. But oh, my brother had got DWI one time, and my brother-in-law, and they fried their gluteus maximus. To put it mildly.
All right, now I'll show you these two things real fast on screen share. We were talking about Jamaica's government, and I'd like to go to Jamaica, but I've never been to Jamaica. I've been to the Bahamas. But
don't go to Kingston, because my stepfather is into geology and gemology, and he went to Kingston. They were throwing rocks at him.
Oh,
Don't go to Kingston.
here
Go
is
go to yeah.
a resort. Here's Queen Elizabeth II's official flag of Jamaica. This is her official
There
Jamaican.
you go with the pineapples.
So this flag is only allowed to be flown when she is present in the country.
I like that
Which
flag,
means-
but they
Yeah.
can't adopt it to. That's a nice looking flag. It's too bad they can't use it. And you know, in New England, in the nautical, the coastline of New England, people have like pineapple door knockers and pineapple ornaments on you know like front of their house. It's supposed to mean hospitality, welcome, and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
aren't those carnations right there?
They look like carnations.
All right, now, so when Queen Elizabeth is not in Jamaica, which means 99% of the time she doesn't live there.
She's not gonna. Yeah, she's not gonna go to these.
No.
Yeah.
So she visits, every now and then. She's too old to go anywhere. Now, she has a person called the Governor General that does her work for her. And this is the Governor General's flag.
Oh, that's a nice flag.
That's the flag of the Governor General.
Yes. I just want people to realize there are no lions in England, in the UK.
Right. And it's
I
very
don't think.
big.
Yeah.
And they include all the anatomical features of the lion, actually.
Yeah. Well, I would have picked a dragon like the one that King George supposedly killed. You know, the European dragon.
Oh yeah, King George and Armenia.
And there's a lot of mythical beasts from the United Kingdom. Chimera.
Oh yeah, the Chimera.
The
Yeah.
Chimera. Then there's the harpies, where if you hear the harpy scream, it's something about if you hear there's a different audio message with a harpy. One means someone close to you is going to die, and then the other one means you're going to die. It has to do with the harpies screaming. But anyway, there's a whole bunch of mythical creatures in Ireland and Scotland.
Oh yeah. Now, I've never kissed the Blarney Stone. I never been to Jamaica. I never went to England, but I did go to the Bahamas, and which is another one of those Queen Elizabeth realms. And I went to a murder trial. I had never been to a murder trial. And I went to the Parliament and I watched the debate, which is very interesting. And they took me on a tour of their police department, which was sort of like a county. Jamaica, the Bahamas is such a small country. Their police department is sort of like my parish. We don't have counties in Louisiana. We have parish sheriff's department. And then they showed me their navy, which was
The canoe. There was a few canoes, right?
wow. The Royal Bahamian Navy was about two little Coast Guard cutters, little destroyers,
little dinghies.
very, very tiny, But I mean, they were taking it serious. I mean, it's not like I don't think there's too many countries in the world looking to invade Jamaica, so it's not like the Bahamas to invade the Bahamas. So it's not, and it's probably a pretty good career. It's probably a good career, to be in the Bahamian Navy,
Yeah, they probably had little catapults hurling fireballs like they did during the Roman, the Greeks and the Roman. Now, Cayman Islands was a British colony.
Still a colony. It's still the Cayman Islands are still a British overseas dependency. Still a colony.
What do you call Belize? Belize
is now a realm. It's like Jamaica. It's a realm. They have their own legislature, but their Supreme Court in Belize, the Supreme Court is still in the Privy Council in London. And let me think. The Bermuda Islands is still a British colony. The Turks and Caicos Islands still a British colony. Well, there's a whole bunch. All right. Anyway, so Ellington, I like it. I don't think I'll be buying a bottle anytime soon because I got so much of a backstock. But I mean, I would recommend it if you saw it for $10.99. Yeah, I would say it's well worth it.
Now this has nothing to do with Duke Ellington, right? The guy,
no,
the jazz.
no.
Yeah, okay.
Now, if you like a lot of wood, I just took the last sip. So there's a lot of oak, wood. Well, that's a good sign. So I would be curious to try the 8-year age. It's not going to be the same price. The 8-year age is going to cost you more, But yeah, it's fine. Now I'm going to score it. Let me go to my banners here. I'm going to score the Ellington base model. It's actually every sip the score goes up. So I'm going to go with 91 out of 100. I think that's a fair score. Now, does the company in Princeton, Minnesota own a distillery in Canada? No, they do not. It's the same thing with the Blackwell. They pay in somebody to make it for them. It could be Crown Royal making it for them for all I know. But as far as taste challenges tomorrow morning at dawn, we're doing the Johnny Walker Double Black versus
wow,
Double Black. I got a great deal on these. I got a great deal on these little mini bottles versus 100 Pipers. And I got the greatest deal in the history of deals on this bottle. 100 Pipers blended Scotch. If I tell you the price, you'll think I'm lying. 100 Pipers, introduced in 1965, developed by the Chivas Brothers master blender Alan Bailey. I doubt Alan Bailey is still alive 56 years later. But this is a 3-year age Scotch whiskey. It's not extra age or anything, but this stuff really does well. I find it does so well in the taste challenges. And so no, I won't mention the price, because if I was to bring up the fact on this hangout that I only paid $3.99 for this, it would be a scandal. And I'm not going to bring that up because, it's not right.
No, don't bring it up. It'll cause a ruckus. It'll cause much chaos. So do not bring it up. And I just want to say that Ronald Theriot gets the best bargains in the entire universe, intergalactic, whatever you want to call it. When it comes to fermented beverages.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I said $3.99. I meant to say $3.98. $3.98.
98.
Full size bottle. All right. So no, I'm luckily James caught me before I went too far, and I did not mention that or ever even bring it up.
Now,
but
what would be upsetting is if a person says, "We're going to give you a special deal, Ron, and we're going to give it to you for $3.98." So you save a penny. I would say, I got an itch in the middle of my forehead, man.
Right. So I run across the craziest things around here now. And
here it comes. I know it's coming.
I caught myself because I'm such a careless person. I almost close call. I almost mentioned this coffee liqueur that I got for $4.99 a bottle, but luckily I was able to catch myself for I mentioned buying that coffee liqueur for $4.99 a bottle, and I'll never mention it on this channel until later. Well, what the hell?
Taka.
Taka. You can see it's been in
the king cake. The jester. Where's the jester? Oh, there it is. Oh, because it was in the freezer.
Been in the freezer. I had it in the freezer. This thing is still around in the stores, although it's really only advertised during carnival season, which ended March 1st. But if you're looking to rot your teeth, this could be one for you, because it's got enough sugar to rot anybody's teeth. And it does have the 3 colors of carnival: purple, green,
And
and
blue.
gold. And
And
if you
gold.
know anything about the three wise men, of the Orient, the astrologers from the Eastern countries brought Jesus three gifts. Purple, purple was myrrh, a burial spice.
Yes.
Frankincense was green, and gold. So,
Now,
and they were astrologers.
is that wonderful aroma I smell in the Catholic Church during Mass? Is that frankincense?
Yes.
The one where he's got the thing attached to a chain and he's swinging it, bling, 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 bling. Yeah, I have a whole stack. I got a whole fistful of frankincense and myrrh combination incense sticks. I got it at the Meadowlands Flea Market at Giant Stadium one time, but I got a lot of it. It's a combo, frankincense and myrrh. And you're right about the burial spice, myrrh.
Yes, and the wise men, they traveled from probably, and there's theories about the wise men that they traveled from India, Iraq, uh, Iran, which was Persia, and that they studied the stars, and interestingly, the wise men saw a star and they followed it.
Star of
The star
Bethlehem.
moved. Yeah, and it moved. And then, so these wise men knew that this meant something very important. So they followed it to Bethlehem, and that's where they gave Jesus homage, and they brought these gifts. And so, the mythical or legendary names, we don't know if these names are real, but the names were Balthazar, Caspiar, and Melchior. Balthazar, Caspiar, and Melchior, and probably that really was their names, and somehow it didn't get included in Scripture. But these esoteric questions about the Bible are so very interesting.
Now, another thing that people, the average jabroni, jumbaloni doesn't know about is that the Latin American culture, they celebrate something called Three Kings Day, which I think they revere it even more than Christmas, which is sometime in, I don't know, early January, perhaps.
Three Kings is on January 6th, and it's called 12th Night. It's the 12th night after Christmas. Yeah, 12th night.
12, yeah, is that the Partridge in the Pear Tree? The song? 12
Yes,
days.
yeah, there are 12 days of Christmas starting on Christmas Day. Yes.
Yeah, the Partridge in a Pear Tree. Pineapples. I used to take care of them. Now you're making me hungry. Rotisserie, wild pig with the stick the pineapple in his mouth.
And King's Day is when they bring in the king cake.
King cake with the little baby, the little rubber or plastic baby.
And if you get the baby, you have to buy the next king cake.
Oh, it's not like good luck that you can hang from your rear view mirror or something?
Now, if you cut the king cake and you get the piece with the baby in it, that means you have to buy the next king cake for the next king cake party.
You know what I found out? That if you take the foot of a chicken that had black feathers and you dehydrate it, it's supposed to bring you very powerful good luck in gambling, according to voodoo. Island of Fire. There's nothing like tearing a crispy skin off a roast pig that's finished, and then you have the head, and nobody wants the head except, the smart people. And
here's a good one.
Yeah.
Here's a good one.
How many policemen does it take to screw in one light bulb to see a barricaded door with a mass murder behind it? 10,000. Those cops, those flatfoot floozies with the Floyd there, they were beyond incompetent. They knew. Something tells me that that many cops can't be that stupid. They knew what they were doing, and there can't be that many inbred people down there. It's got they had somebody must have gave them orders to just sit back and barbecue, have a tailgate party
For
and
one, for 1 hour. For 1 hour.
1 hour.
Like they said during the Watergate investigation, what did the president know and when did he know it? Don't play games. We're coming after you. You want to lie? We're going to check all your emails. We're going to check all your records. We're going to know who you talk to. You wanted to stop the parents from going in there and rescuing the children. We're coming at you. We are coming at you. You are the target now. You are the target.
Only if people were held accountable and their feet were held to the fire. Only if this started happening again. That's one thing.
Well, I think it's going to now. I think now it's going to. These people had it. They've had it. They've had it.
I mean, there is a friend of mine who lives in Brighton Beach, Brooklyn, who's a established musician and clothing designer, lives in Brighton Beach. He said that the cops in his neighborhood, they're definitely on. They're easily bribed. They're easily on the take. And
I think that's sort of a well-known thing that why drug trafficking never gets stopped is because the people regulating it are in on it.
Yeah. They're like Boss Hogg and Roscoe P. Coltrane. They're corrupted.
Well, if you remember the movie The Godfather, McCluskey was protecting Sollozzo the Turk in his heroin business. That's why Sollozzo could operate, because New York police captain was protecting his business.
Yeah, the veal was very good here. It's the best in the city.
Right.
The gun was taped on behind the turlet. The turlet.
Yeah, they made one little mistake. They tried to take out one of the. They tried to mess with the wrong family. All right.
Yeah. I like the what was it, the beginning of Godfather 2 when they showed when Don Vito Corleone was a young guy in New York.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. It was like it looked like the 1920s or something.
Yeah. 19 teens, the teens.
Wow, that's way
The
back.
teens.
Well,
yeah.
Well, Italians were they had to deal with a lot of bigotry when they came over from Ellis Island.
If you watch the movie, his attitude was, if you remember Vito Corleone, his real name was Vito Andolini. He was from the town of Corleone. He was telling his friends in New York City, he said, why are Italians stealing from other Italians? Like, he couldn't understand how the organized crime was victimizing other Italians. Like, he said, well, what's going on here? He said, they're actually prejudiced against their own people. So he launched like his own vendetta against Italians who were preying on other Italians. And so then he became the Don, the Don.
The Don. Yeah, I remember when Al Pacino went to Sicily and he was talking to the Don that had like a cape, with a big fancy hat. And I felt sorry for the girl. She was cute. The one that got blown up in the car.
Apollonia.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and
Apollonia. Yeah.
My family is from Bizzacchino, Sicily. It's outside of Palermo. Spaghetti Western. Oh, I love those movies. I loved all of them. Clint Eastwood, the Fistful of Dollars, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Oh,
here's one thing about Mussolini. We got to get off the air, but here's one thing about Mussolini. I'm not a fan of Mussolini by any stretch. But Mussolini was a guy who was before World War II. I'm sorry, I apologize. Before World War One. Oh, yeah, this King Cake vodka is pretty good, but you better go to the dentist after you drink it. Before World War One, Mussolini was the head of what was called the Italian Socialist Party. He was the chairman of the Italian Socialist Party. So he was like really radical socialist guy. But then
Very dramatic, very dramatic too.
Yeah, so the war broke out, and then the Socialist Party said, well, no Italians are going to fight for their country. We're going to fight for the revolution. And he got very angry. He said, no, you have to fight for your country. Italy is our country, you know. And so he got into a conflict with the Socialist Party, and then he became their arch enemy, you know, even though he was like the most intellectual, you know, he wrote all their articles and everything. He was like really intellectual. So then he started a new party called the Fascist Party, which was National Socialism, where it was socialism, but they were proud of their country and all, you know. And so he, and like I said, I'm not a fan of his. I don't support him at all. But he had this problem, like in the 1920s, when he became the ruler of the country. Well, not the total ruler, because they were still a king, and the king had the ultimate power. And he was actually fired by the king in 1943 and put in prison by the king. But Mussolini said, why are Italians extorting each other? You know, why is the mafia stealing from other Italians? This is a crime. And so he launched a war on the mafia. And when Mussolini was in power, he totally wiped out the mafia, you know.
Yeah,
So,
that's why they migrated to the United States.
yeah, he really cleaned up the country. And
yeah.
But anyway, that's another story. But
Well,
your family came from Sicily, huh?
Yeah. Bizzacchino is in the mountains. You know, they had well, they loved eggplant for some reason. Sicily loves eggplant. They like fresh sardines. But let me tell you, I've had fresh sardines when I used to work with seafood, and when I went to the big summertime festival in Ironbound, Newark, where there's a lot of Portuguese and Brazilians living there. They were barbecuing fresh sardine. There's no comparison. There's no comparison. It's one of the best tasting fish you'll ever had. Nothing. The one in the can is nothing like fresh sardines. But Sicilians like fresh sardines. They like to use like fennel. What's that one? Pasta con sarde is fennel. I think pine nuts, sardines, fresh sardines. And then you have puttanesca, which is capers, black olives, and what do you call it? Anchovies, whatever. But they love eggplant for some reason. And I don't even know if eggplant is indigenous to Europe. Marco Polo brought a lot of things from Asia back.
Right. I don't know, Victor. I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that question, Victor. You want to give me baseball trivia? Who was Mr. San Diego?
Listen, the last thing I'm going to say, I want to ask the Island of Fire a question. What is have you ever had cooked, of course, wild boar? And if so, what is it? Mussolini had a little empire going for himself.
Yeah, he's talking about in 1940. He's talking about 1940 when Mussolini started getting really stupid. You know.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, what is the difference between wild boar and domesticated hog? If you ever had wild boar, I'm very curious. Yeah. He knows Ferry Street. Yeah, he knows it well. They had the Brazilian girls were they had a little parade, and the Brazilian girls were on a float, and they had wet T-shirts, white T-shirts. Oh, it is. So all those wild boar running around Louisiana that they're shooting from helicopters. I bet they'll make really good head cheese.
I was sitting here in the springtime when it was cooler in the morning, and Orangey was sitting on my lap. All right, I had all the windows open. It was around, I don't know, 61 degrees, and outside the window we heard
Skunk ape. Skunk ape.
so Orangey, the cat, jumped up and ran to the window and was like, I said, "What is that sound?" It was like really terrifying. It was like, could hear it crawling around by the window, but I never could see it.
Had like a deep grunt.
Just the sound I'm making.
Sounds like a skunk ape. You better get that rifle ready. You better spray him with Lysol. I wonder if he'll get upset.
Yeah, Orangey was pretty disturbed.
600 pounds. Now, boar, I'm getting hungry, man. Good thing I got a whole bag of smoked ham hocks in the freezer. And I also got a big sack of lime wedges that I wedged myself.
Yeah.
I put a lot of limes, and I hear they freeze well.
Now in Louisiana, you can shoot a wild pig without a license or any permission. They want you to shoot as many as possible.
It's a invasive species that is infested. It's totally infested. But I mean, if they're edible, man.
Yeah, a snipe. You're talking about a snipe.
What? Snipe? Wesley Snipe, the actor?
All right. Now, next Wednesday, folks, next Friday, we're going to do another Fandango Friday, June 3rd.
No, Wednesday might be Joker's Wild Wednesday.
This Wednesday, June 1st, is Joker's Wild Wednesday. So I'm going to bring in, I don't know, I gotta figure out what I'm going to bring, but any beer, wine, or liquor. James said he's got something for Joker's Wild. Jean-Pierre's got something. So,
well, I got something that is effervescent. I'll give you a hint. Very, very mild hints. Effervescent, dark in color. I don't believe it's domesticated at all, but it is definitely not a nationally advertised macro. So I'll leave it at that.
oh yeah, effervescent. Let's see, effervescent.
Dark.
Dark.
And not domestic, and not a macro. Oh, Nutria. Yeah, they do something with the fur, but who wants to wear like rodent fur? They're from South America.
Yeah, some people eat them.
Yeah, they eat the capybara. You ever see the rodents called capybara from the Amazon?
Oh yeah, a nutria is like a small version of a capybara. A nutria is big. It's like this big, and it's got webbed feet. It's got webbed feet and a long tail like a rat. It's got big fangs like a rat. It looks like a rat, but it swims in the water, and it's got webbed feet. And
so I bet beaver have webbed feet too. I'm wondering.
These nutria are absolutely huge.
Well, that's why the gators are doing so well. The gators, because of the nutria, they're over there with the file in their teeth,
eating them all up. And they caught a gator. They caught a gator yesterday. I saw this in the paper this morning in Slidell, Louisiana. The kids were at school playing on the playground, and they all started running. There was a huge 10-foot alligator walking around on the playground.
I saw a video of one on a golf course that was humongous. They live a long time, alligators. Their lifespan is not short.
Now, when they're born, they're about this big.
Right. And also you have the alligator snapping turtle.
Oh, I saw one right behind my house last year, and it was scary looking.
Wow, you don't want to get your hand in their jaws. Let's put it that way.
The force they can bring down can snap a branch in half.
Piece of wood, yeah, and their tongue wiggles like a worm.
Yeah, they get in the water and they do like that, and the fish comes along,
and then whack.
We were walking behind my house. We were walking behind my house to pick we were picking wild onions because We have wild onions that grow all around. You could get this many wild onions, shallots.
Really? You know, I bet they're tasty as hell in a stir fry, in a wok.
Oh, those wild onions are really good.
You get the
So,
kitchen shears and you snip them, the green part. I bet they're delicious.
yeah, so we get wild onions around here, and we get thistle. And you can take a thistle and eat it like a celery. The thistle.
Yeah, thistle. What the hell is it called? Stinging nettles are very good for men. It's a very good herb for men's health and allergies, if you ever see them. But they're like a cactus. They'll stick you with a bunch of pricks.
Yeah, so we were walking back behind that. We were walking back over there, and we were cutting down. We were picking wild onions and thistle, and we stopped short. We stopped quick because it was a huge alligator snapping turtle walking on the ground.
Now, what about one of my favorite
Look like
subjects?
Godzilla, look like Godzilla, you know what?
Oh, look like Gamera, the monster
Yeah,
in the
camera.
turtle.
Yeah, camera. What?
Giant turtle. Have you seen any good crawdad mounds, crawfish mounds?
Interestingly, I saw a bunch of them in Texas.
Really?
But in Texas, they build the mounds differently. I noticed the crawfish build the mounds. It's not the same. They don't use the same design.
No, they probably sit back and watch it for an hour before they use it in
Yeah.
Texas.
No. Yeah, but I found that remarkable because when I was in Texas last week, I noticed the crawfish mounds, but they were a different design. They didn't. In Louisiana, the crawfish roll the balls in a complete circle. So each mud ball is a totally spherical circle. They build their little castle. But in Texas,
there are many there are many different species worldwide of crawfish. There really are. They come in different sizes. Some of them get real big. Some of them are very colorful.
Yeah, so I think the ones in Texas are a different species. But now in Louisiana, if you go out into the Gulf of Mexico, the crawfish will be like 4 feet long, you know, like huge.
Well, you got the rock lobster in the Gulf. You got the rock lobster which doesn't really have big claws like the Maine lobster. They got a big tail, but the Louisiana crawfish are pretty, in my opinion. They're like a deep red, like a rose, like a fire engine red, or even a cayenne pepper.
Yeah,
they get deep red.
But we have crawfish that live in the Gulf in the salt water too, and they're huge.
Yeah, I tell you, one of the best spaghetti sauce I ever had was made from female blue crab. The females, because they have the fat. They make good.
Yeah. Okay, well, before we get off the air, folks, here's a bit of advice, and then James is going to close us out with a musical accompaniment. Here's a bit of advice: never put a little tiny crawfish in your aquarium, because in about a year you'll have nothing left in your aquarium.
You're damn right. I made that mistake one time, and a male and a female that I took home from the fish markets I worked for, and I slowly warmed them up. I put them in the the problem with frog's leg is I think of all those frogs in wheelchairs, and I put them in the sink. I slowly warm them up because you can't go from refrigeration to 80-degree aquarium. The shock will kill them. And all they did was have sexual intercourse and eat all my fish. And I'm going live Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, progressive discussions, open topic show. Ronald knows it quite well. And the seriousness will be from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And then after 4 p.m. will be open topics. Well, in the prehistoric era, everything was big enough to eat humans, The megalodon, the size of a school bus. All right, here we go.
Pretty sure you'll have a lot to talk about this Sunday with all the recent scandals in Texas.
Well, I got a lot of I got good videos to bring up on screen share. I got good articles. Yeah, there'll be a lot to talk about. And I got a message from Jordy. He finally listened to my messages after God knows 2 weeks. And he said to me, "Oh, it's fine, James. 4 p.m. is fine. You know, me and Colin can come on after 4." I says, "Yeah, because what happens is if all you gentlemen come, like what I really meant was certain people, if they come on at 3 p.m., they interrupt all the serious conversation, and they
Right.
keep cutting it off, and they want to go right to the booze all the time, you know, and talk about what they're drinking, and I don't get to discuss anything." So these are the rules, and he says, "Well, it sounds fair enough." I says, "Yeah, okay, after 4, give or take, right?" So that's it. Uh, I will put the link in the comments box for anyone who wants to come aboard can come. Jason Cleveland will be in the casino, and we will hear the sounds of the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino. All right. Anacondas. The green anaconda is the big one, 30 feet long and several hundred pounds. Thanks for joining us. Memorial Day weekend 2022. Fandango Friday.
Thank you.
Catch the Wednesday extravaganza.
Joker's
Joker's
Wild.
Wild Wednesday. And next Friday.
Yeah. Y'all take care now.